Welcome to Go Drag Racing's first tutorial on what we call out of bounds image manipulation here. What it is basically is the photograph of the vehicle, mainly we're using vehicles or people or something like that, is jumping out of a photograph into another background. There's a couple tutorials out there that aren't bad. Some seem a little hard, but and they can also be used in Elements. This one here is basically for Photoshop. So let's start by importing a file. Let's use Ruger. This is Tara Bokers of Black Rock Photography. She supplied the image. This is a big truck. I forget what it's called, but she likes to call it Ruger. Let's go ahead and we're going to duplicate the background. Oh, my bad. Duplicate layer. Okay, let's remove the lock here and throw that in the trash can. Alright, we're going to rename this Ruger, the name of the truck, and this Ruger 2. Reason for this is we're going to use both of these. Okay, and we're going to start setting up the palette here, right? I like to work in groups, so we're going to call this Ruger also. And we're going to slide this in here. If you notice, they drop into this group. They can be hidden, right? Now we're going to make another one here that's for backgrounds, because we're going to place a background behind this. So let's just make the backgrounds layer, and we're going to put this back here, or background group, I'm sorry. And above this, we're going to make another one for the photo paper. Since this is going to outline basically what you want to cut around the truck once you've designed a piece of paper. A lot of guys say use a selection tool, which is fine, but it gets kind of messy. This is a very large image, 36 by 24. The photo supplied is very sharp, clean, and you know, if you view the actual pixels, this is an extremely large image, and this is a big screen here too. So let's go back to you know, fit on screen here and keep playing around. So we have photo paper, and we're going to add one more for highlights, and you know, other things you might want to add: highlights, shadows. And one more for, I want to add text to this one here. So we have a lot of text we can use. We have a lot of styles. I have a large example of styles. So we're going to write, you know, capitalize this main text. And we're ready to begin. So what we want to do here is we're going to go to photo paper, and everybody uses a selection tool, which is fine. You can, you know, you can select and do this. Not necessary. So let's just, we'll use a shape. Love using shapes. No problem with them at all. Make it all white. And let's just draw a rectangle out to the tree here. So notice here we have the shape outline. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to drop the opacity on this a little bit so we can see through and see the outline of the truck. What we're going to do, we've already set this up, so we want to see how it works. How we're going to design it is to make it look like the paper is folded down and the truck is driving out of the image. I already have a background set up that I had already pre-made. You can find them all over the place. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Edit, Transform Path, and we're going to go to Warp. All right, we're going to bring this up. We're going to start creating some smooth curves to the paper, but we want to bring it in a little bit and look like it's pushing out and almost folded down. So we can keep manipulating it like this. Now we have the nice curved area here. So let's go back now, and since we're going to lay this on top of something here, we want it to look like it's shooting out of the image. So we're going to have to give this a little depth into here and a little depth into here to make it look like it's laying down really flat on the corner. And we'll bring this up a little bit. Now, this here we can keep manipulating to as much as we want. And I personally like to bring this so that we can have it jump, you know. So we have to go back down and edit this part here, and edit this part here, and bring this up. And now we can bring this corner down. And let's just bring a little bit more color into this, and a little bit more of a wave, and we'll just drop this down a little bit. And let's go to edit, and now we want to transform the whole thing. So we're just going to go to free transform. You notice now we don't have the warp anymore, so just for the sake of cutting out a lot of the object, we'll bring this down, bring this all the way to the bottom of the image. We'll just, you know, tap your key down a little bit. We've got plenty of color there at the bottom. I still like to do a little bit more, so I'm going to warp it just a little bit more. Bring this center down here a little bit. Bring this over. Now we have quite a bit of, I guess you'd call it curl and what you know, basically curl to the page, and a lot of nice depth to it. Now we stop. We're done that. We have just this up here is the area we're going to need to cut out. We've got the truck driving out basically, so we're going to rasterize this layer, and we're going to bring the transparency back up to, and we'll deselect that. If you notice, if you on the actual pixels, you can see that the lines are fairly sharp, which is good. A lot of you guys like to use a pen tool. I commend you for that. It's an awesome tool, very hard to use in my opinion. I was never any good at it. So we're just going to save this because we want to make sure we don't lose anything. This, like I said, is a very large image, and it's a PSD. And I'll be right back. What we're going to do with these two layers here is, again, we're going to change the transparency or opacity on the black layer. So what we're going to actually transform this again because we want to bring a boundary out for the image. So we bring this down, grab another corner here. So we've got, let's go back and try it again. And free transform. Let's go down and just hold the shift key down, and you can bring the corner in nice and clean. Then bring this corner in nice and clean again. But nothing, it's not going to match up much. So let's make a few adjustments to this with the warp tool. So we'll bring this back in again, and we'll warp this corner down. Bring this out here a little bit because the paper is basically a frame, you know, and it's going to get smushed up a little bit. So, and we also want to bring this as far to the corner as possible. And this one here, we need to just grab this corner and move this around here. Now we have the frame laid out. Oh, wait a minute. We'll bring this down here a little bit, add a little depth and a little perspective to this. It's supposed to look like the paper is like really, you know, really there, which sometimes is very hard to gain some perspective. That's good enough there. Like I said, we're working a large image. This is a Falcon Northwest Talon computer. It's fairly high power for what, you know, what's out there right now. So let's just pause this again. Okay, we're back again, and we're gonna we're now focusing on the truck itself. A lot of these tutorials I've seen, they tell you instead of using right here, they want you to go over and use the quick selection tool. I have a problem with that because basically it picks up a lot of extra things that you really don't want to use. I've lowered the transparency on the outline of the paper. Now if I go over here and I want to choose this area here, you see I'm picking up a lot of stuff and there's a lot of lousy edge to it, and it's just not doing what I want it to do. See, it just picks up everything because the colors are so close, and you're gonna have to just go back and keep doing it over and over again. What I like to do is let's deselect that. I like to use the polygonal lasso tool, feather 0, anti-liaise. Right, simple as that. And we'll just zoom in. That's 200%. It looks kind of crazy to you right here, but in actuality, it's very simple. Where we just go up and grab something and start running around the edge. Just keep tapping your mouse as you get along and kind of, draw around it as best you can, because since we're zoomed in 200%, it's going to be extremely clean. But you have to keep mind of what you're doing and making sure you don't miss anything. So right now I'm going to stop recording and I'll finish it off, but the trick to moving the photo around is actually by moving the space bar. It turns it a hand as soon as, you could be cutting, doing all this, and once you hit the space bar, you go back. Just make sure you don't double click anywhere. And we'll just keep going with this and, clean it up a little bit and get the edges, and I'll show you once it's all finished. Okay, so we'll just... Now with this section here, we're working on layer Ruger 2. Alright, we've outlined it with the polygonal lasso tool. That's right here. You have the lasso, polygon, magnetic, right? Don't touch these two, they're no good. So we had the polygonal lasso tool. I've outlined the whole image, nice tight cuts, within a pixel or so, or 2 pixels of each. So what we have here is when we view on fit on screen, we now have the marching ants that everybody talks about here. We've outlined our selection, but the problem here is we need to remove the background. So we're going to go to select and we're going to inverse. So now that we've removed all the backgrounds and we have these 2 layers here, you simply hit delete. Now what did that do? Didn't look like it do anything. But remove this one here of Ruger 2, because we're going to use this for later on. It's going to be this. So now we have 2 truck images. Turn this one off and this one. Actually, let's pause this again. So if you notice, now we have 2 layers here. We can turn off one, turn off the other. We're left with the shape and the outline. What we're going to do here now is remove some of this excess in here. We're going to deselect, and I'm just going to go around because I want to use this for a shadow in the end here. There was no feathering. If you use the pen tool, congratulations, man, you're much better man than I am, because it is really hard for me to get a hold of that thing. So we still have all this. We've cut it all out, the grass, the background, and we just need to touch up the top in these areas here. If you notice here, these little pieces right up and above here, I get really detailed when I'm cutting stuff out. So we'll work on both of these again, and I'll be right back. You can make multiple selections by starting on one line and holding the shift key down to begin another one. As you can see, we have marching ants here again. We're going to make sure we delete that layer, delete that layer. Now we have pretty much the whole truck is outlined completely. Total time doing that was missed a spot. Total time was, with me touching up a few little spots, was about 10 minutes, only because the image is so large. So go back to the actual pixels and just finish up just cleaning up this one corner. A lot of yellow fringing there from the woodsy picture. Not a big deal. I'll take a little time and go back and clean that up later. But the reason we have two layers here is because we're going to have one in the back. So with a double click, delete. Next layer, delete. And we want to go up in File and Save As. We've now finished touching up the truck and going around the edges here and cleaning it up some. You can no more fringing from some of the trees and things like that. I left a little stuff here from just to give it a little color inside it, a little rusty look on the pipe and stuff, right? We've got our two layers here, two groups, and Ruger 2, Ruger 1, outline black inner, right? We'll go back to fit on screen. This is 300% zoomed in. It's very sharp compared to using the this tool here. The quick selection. You'll never get this kind of preciseness with the quick selection, in my opinion. And again, you guys with the pen tool, keep at it, man. So let's go back and we're just going to fit this on screen. And you can see what we have here now is our front, or where the photo would be, and we also have the back of the truck. Everything's cut out, and simply by turning off the group here, we have our outline of our truck and where we want to go with this thing. The reason I group things is basically I want to keep these layers easily manageable, so I can basically just control, click that, and we're going to go to Edit, Free Transform. I'm going to size this a little bit smaller here because I don't believe that my image that I'm bringing in is going to be enough. Remember, I'm holding the Shift key down when I'm doing this. If not, you'll have a very distorted image. So we'll apply that transformation to quite a few layers here. You'll notice it's transforming. Of course, it's like I said, it's big. Now we notice here we have this area here needs to be removed. So you just go around real fast. Go to our layers. Ruger 1, delete. Ruger 2, delete. And we have that. So let's deselect. Now I've already made a background that I want to use, so I'm going to open this up, and we're going to take the stone room I created and import this. This is also 36 by 24, and you can notice by the dimensions here it's not going to look right. So we're going to go to select all, edit, copy. We're going to go back to Ruger here, and we're going to go to backgrounds, and we're just going to hit edit and paste. So now we have the background in there. It's starting to look like something, but it's not what we want. So I'm going to again duplicate the layer, right? And we're going to select a feather brush about maybe 4 pixels, and we're just going to hide these layers here. And we're going to go back to this background here and just quickly draw across. Add a little perspective, maybe, if we have to. Oh. So let's just hide this layer here, and we're going to edit, free transform. So we're going to bring this down. I kind of remember the truck being where it was. I liked how it looked there. And we're going to go up and apply. And we're going to select this layer up here. Let's bring this down. It doesn't really matter if it's going to, fit together or not. Whatever, it'll fit. So let's bring Ruger back. Looks like it fits a little bit better there. Okay, so we'll deselect this. The stone wall in the back, I wanted to, uses a grungy background. You can replace it with anything, stone wall, brick wall, whatever you want to use, but leaving this intact is good. So right now we want to bring in the background or the photography paper. Reason I created 2 layers is I'm just going to select the black inside, and I'm going to go to my outline. I'm going to edit. I'm sorry. I'm just going to hit delete. Since I selected the inside here, I can remove this, and we now have the photo frame. Nice. All right. What that is really is just a line with a transparency in the center here now. And what we need to do is remove some of the parts that are going across the truck. Of course, all this here. And all that is since we rasterize this outline here, that's going to allow us to go back and we just turn the transparency down a little bit here, and we go back around and we cut all these other small edges out of it, and following it down through here. You want the grill, right here is where you would use your lasso tool. Don't forget to move the feather back to 0, and you just basically be cutting these parts out all the way down to where the tire is here. As you can see, I went around and touched up some of this here because I will later dodge and burn that a little bit to give it some depth and feel and get rid of some of the color in it. I've already desaturated the tires a little bit. They were too colorful, not for this purpose. So we're just going to mark around about a pixel worth, something like that. When it's something this large, you have to realize that every little pixel is going to count. So just grab it real close and just keep going up. And I'll show you real quick here, and I'll go back around and clean all that off. We just hit delete on the outline, and let's bring the transparency back up to 100%. And we see we have a nice sharp line. So when you deselect it, if I view and zoom in, it's very close. Just grab that a little bit there. Try to keep it clean. I'll delete that again. So there we have a nice smooth corner. All the layers are moved. Fits on the screen pretty well. This is, again, zoomed in 200 times. Is really large. So I could go around and clean this edge up if I wanted to, but you won't see this when you're finished. So let's fit it back on screen. You can see how it starts to take shape right there at the edge. So once I remove all this, from here to over to here or whatever, then we can start working on the background here. So I'll finish that and I'll be right back. When we left off, we were trying to get rid of the outline border here. All right. We still have the black front. We're going to use that a little later. Maybe not. Maybe. But what we wanted to do here was we had these 2 layer copies. Okay. I didn't like the aspect that it had, so I just selected the layer here and I basically transformed it down, and that left this layer behind it. So with just a eraser, you grab an eraser about 1,000 pixels, nice and nice smooth. Just go around and erase the edge a little bit. So what we're going to do here is we're going to merge these 2 layers. So we go down, we go merge visible. Oop, undo. Going to go layer, merge down. Okay, so now we have background. Again, what I don't like is a little bit of some of these things being the same here. So let's just Alt, grab something here, and we'll get rid of this one here. So now it's a little more uniform. We take something from over here and get rid of these big blotches. This was just something I'd made. And we notice that it's lacking punch, and that's where your Ruger outline comes in. Here's front, here's back, and that's what you're left with. So with Ruger, the main layer of Ruger here, we're going to go to blending options. Tons of stuff to do in blending options, right? A lot of people like to use a drop shadow. a lot of people like to use a brush. I've not yet found a brush that will do exactly what I want to do. So what we're just going to do here is place a color overlay on it, and we're just going to set that as black. Nice sharp black. Now we see, okay, so now we have the color overlay. We can begin bringing some depth into this picture here. So we're going to go to edit and transform. We're going to use distort a little bit. So we're going to grab the end down here, and we're going to bring this down just about into there. And let's go to warp again here. So we're going to warp some of this out. Just enough, because we're going to remove some of these edges here. We want to keep bringing this out a little bit more to give some depth here and here. It doesn't matter where all this is because you won't see it. And actually we're going to remove that. But we first want to give a little corner of this here. Just give it some sense of a shadow behind it. So we'll bring this down here some more. And we'll keep that just a little bit inside. Because later we'll be adding a little shadow to the underneath of this. Now I don't know about you, but trying to brush this will be really hard. And we're just going to set the transparency down a little bit till we start seeing something come through a little bit. Right, about 62% here already. You can also duplicate this layer, and you can transform it even more. Let's just squash this down a little bit. So, because I only want to keep this bottom piece. So what I'll do is I'll just, again, take my transform tool here. I mean my polygonal lasso tool here. I'll go over here to the edge, and let's get rid of it right about here. And that'll get rid of the whole top of the truck too. We're going to do something with that layer because we want to make it kind of grungy, and for that to stand out. If you notice, still 66%. Both are 66%. Now, to really give it a little bit more feel, we're going to deselect this here, and we're going to take this, the first one. That would be, if you tap on your layer, you can usually just grab. You have layer auto select up here. You can grab this. You can grab this. And we're just going to go to filter, and we're going to go to blur, and we're going to add a little Gaussian blur. That's about 25 pixels for this. That's a close, but let's bring it down to about, I'll go back to about 18, 12, something around there. Okay. For the Ruger copy, we're going to do a little bit more filter, distort, I'm sorry, blur, Gaussian blur. But we're going to add a little bit more here. As you can see, it takes on a whole different look, which is why I like the whole idea of using the image itself for the shadows. And one thing I don't like here is there's actual color in this image. I don't know why it got that way, but I see like a purplish blue. So I'm going to go to adjustments, and I'm just going to quick desaturate. It's a little bright and green and gray. So let's go down to adjustments here and go to levels. Bring the levels down a little bit more, and later on we're gonna go through this area here, and we're gonna dodge and burn this a little bit, and even darken it up even more, and highlight it with just some lights, some light features. As you notice, we have an exhaust pipe here still. You know, we're gonna have to get rid of all this stuff, and I'll probably make another copy just from the top, and I'll just move it up a little bit and just remove it from there up, because we want the light to be coming this way, or basically this way. You don't want to watch me do all this. Just hang on a second, and I'm going to go through some more stuff here and just clean this truck up a little bit more. I've already desaturated the tires a little bit. There were just a little too much color on them, so we really want the truck to punch when it comes out of here. Since we're back now, I'd like to clean some of this stuff up. Realize now I'm not going to need any highlights or shadows. We're just going to delete that group. So we still have the photo paper. I'm not going to need the black inner anymore neither. Let's just delete that layer. Okay, and as for Ruger, we made a few changes here. If you notice, we have 4 copies. One is the top shadow. We just turn these off, and you can see lower shadow, and of course the the main shadow. What I want to do is I want to mess around with the copy here just a little bit, because I'm not liking the corner here a little. So we're just going to go and we're going to warp this again. We have pretty much everything laid out as we like. If you noticed, we've also changed the size of these. We've cut some of this stuff out. Now this is heavily blurred, but I want it to stick out a little bit more and just give it a softer feel down there. We can still bring this up, pull this down some more. Gives it just a little bit more feel like it's sitting on the ground right here. You know, trucks rolling out of it right here. I could go on and on. But what I do realize now is that I really like the whole Ruger only and the photo paper to both scale, because I'd like to add something into this. So we're going to free transform this whole section here. Whoops. We have to control, click, edit, and free transform. Okay, we have everything here now. So what we're going to do is we're going to scale this down here a little bit. By holding the shift, we can move this. And let's bring this up a little bit more. And scale this over to the corner some more. We want to add a little text, and we want to add a little something here with a highlight. You have to excuse this thing; it's going a little slow. But while we were away there, I picked up a vector silhouette, which is what we call a smart object. So I'm going to move this up here, and it's a soldier. So this soldier, we want to just kind of give it a army truck feel. We're going to free transform him, make him just a little larger. Doesn't have to be, nothing's perfect here. Nothing really matters when it comes to this kind of stuff. We're just playing around. So we can also, we're going to duplicate this again, and we're going to use him as a shadow. We use the back one as a shadow, so we're going to edit, and we're going to free transform him. Just move him over to the side here. And we'll put him right about there and make him a little bit larger. Now we're just going to change the opacity down so we can just about see through them. And we're going to just cut this area here. First we have to rasterize that layer. We'll cut it, and then we're going to paste. And again, we're going to free transform. Mine's up here. Don't know why. Then we're going to distort. Could do 1 foot at a time. Actually, just we'll warp this a little bit. Pick it up right there. Now we have to duplicate this. We want to make it the same, so we're going to copy the layer style and paste it to this one. If you notice, it just automatically takes shape. So if we want to change a blending, we bring this down to, say, 51. 43 it was at. We'll bring this down to 43 too. So now we have our soldier involved. Also, one thing that's time consuming now is adding text. The truck is what Tara calls it, Ruger. So while we're away, I used a font called Wanted M54. Strange, I believe that's what this truck's called. So first, what layer we put down is the upper layer, and we also put down the lower layer, which contains the shadows, the stroke, bevel, and emboss, and the same stuff here. Everything is here pattern overlay, mainly the pattern overlay. If you turn it off, see what happens. Turn it back on, we have the pattern again. Basically, these patterns here, we get them from our shape. Or if you want to bring out your layer palette here, I have tons of different types of styles where you just basically drag it and put it onto the text. Automatically takes shape. This one here is a camouflage I kind of designed. I'm still not happy with the way it looks behind this, so I'm going to move this around a little bit. Maybe actually scale them a little bit. Both of these, now they're both selected by using the, holding control. We can bring this out more, and it'll scale everything to size. And we can just move it around a little bit. Now we can stop right here, but we want to add a little punch to the truck. So we're going to close all these, the backgrounds. We're going to go back to Ruger here. And I want to add a little punch to the truck, and a lot of people don't know. They like to use I like to use the burn tool, because you can really bring out some color that isn't saturated. It just kind of deepens it, enriches it. I keep it about 48%, and you want to protect the tones. I have it set on shadows. You can pick midtones, highlights, shadows. I prefer right now shadows. So if you just touch and soft brush and just glide it along slowly, you can see it richens it up and kind of gives it some color. But you don't want to go overboard with dodging and burning too much. You want things to stick out. It's only going to select these shadowy areas and maybe a little bit across the hood here, just to make it more uniform and a little bit more, devious looking. You can also go around the tire here a little bit, but we're gonna do that. But we're also gonna, looks a little strong here, so we're just gonna go back and we're gonna fade that so we can just enough to give it a little bit more depth to it. And we do the edges here, some of the back tire. Now let's undo that. So we just step backward. I didn't like the look of that. Or again, step backward. So right now we can go underneath here. It needs a little bit more of popping out. So let's go to right click and go to dodge. We want to dodge the highlights. We want to protect the tones. We're going to use a much larger brush here. 360, I think it should be about that. I'll just quick across there. Actually, use a little shadows too. It gives a little burst in the center there, and you can hit the wheel a little bit. I didn't like that. Do some highlights. Just give it a little pop here and there. Now it gives it a little bit more punch. That's too much. So maybe some in the back here, just to bring some of that back out a little bit. Of course, we can go across the grass and the leaves and stuff. It's going to be a fairly dark image. And one more time, we can just go around and just tap. In shadow area. Took a very good picture here and trying to preserve most of the quality without going overboard with the dodging and burning. There's not much we can do with the roof, but the roof is a little bit needs a little bit more work too, so we're going to burn that a little bit more. We're going to burn the shadows. It's going to be dramatic for most of this here, so we're going to just do that, and we're going to fade that burn a little bit. And then we're just going to go back and do it again in some certain areas, just to give it some richness. Notice the punch, that's a little bit before and after. Now we're going to take this Ruger here, and we're going to make a duplicate. The reason we're making a duplicate is we want to slide this behind. And what we're going to do is we're going to put blending options, and we're going to put an outer glow on it. If you notice now, you'll see that the outer glow is white and it's set on screen. Don't want screen, so we'll just take this, go back to black again, make that normal. Now, because the size is only 21 pixels, we can make it a little bit larger. Let's go to, say, I always like to use about 9 for something a little bit smaller, but 16, you can use a little spread. And we'll zoom in on this here. Go to actual pixels. And we'll go up and take a look at the edges. Now the edges they're fairly good. You notice if we want to adjust the outer glow, we just size, spread, however you want it. 16 pixels, I think it's a little too strong. Okay. Let's go to print size and see how it looks. Still extremely large. But now it kind of looks cartoony. It also added a little bit of an edge around the photo paper because I cut that really close. You go up and you see the detail in the text and how you know, turning layers off, you know, upper layer, bottom layer. Turn off the bottom layer, you lose the background and the shadow and stuff. But we have the shadows here for Ruger, and let's bring that up a little bit more, because I think it needs to be stronger. And we'll fit it on screen. Now I know I need to add some more text here, and I'm going to let you guys go with this because there's a type of truck this is. But now we just want to kind of dodge and burn the background here. So we're gonna burn the background with a large brush. We're gonna make this almost 2,500. We'll do 2,500 pixels, and we'll keep it about 48. But we're gonna do midtones here now. You can see it's slowly getting rid of that bright spot up at the top. And sometimes it takes a while for your computer to catch up, because burning and dodging at this size of an image is extremely it's just painstaking. With the text I'm about to put here later, we'll definitely bring, you know, it'll be highlighted by this. We're going to bring that up a little bit more and see if we can't create some more of a burn. There we go. Just finally picking up. Okay, now it really picks up a lot, so we're going to just keep burning this a little bit more around the soldier and stuff, and go down to the floor a little bit too, and down to the bottom and around. We're just going to go back up and edit, and we're going to fade to burn. That gives us kind of the inner glow deal, but it really makes the truck pop out, makes the text and the army guy look very eerie. So I think we're done with this, and you know, maybe add a little color underneath here, just a little green or something to add some feel to it, you know. And we'll finish it up with adding some text and adding Tara Boker's name to it. Ruger should be good to go. And thanks for watching. What we're gonna do here now is we're gonna save this as a full resolution JPEG. It's 36 by 24 inches, 300 DPI. That's why, you know, the size and this recording here is really taking its toll on my computer. I don't know why, but when it's all done, this image has not been sharpened or anything. Once it's resized and sharpened and saved, you can drop it into another program and enhance more stuff. Lightroom is one of the deals that everybody likes, but hopefully it helped, and thank you guys for listening. Over and out, guys.